Hello, my artists and writers. You might have heard the boys asking me when we were doing our read aloud cards what haiku is, because the girl in the story is studying and practicing writing haiku. And so I'm here today to teach you a little bit about haiku and how to write one, and then to let you give it a try on your own. So, here's what haiku is. It's considered an art form in Japan, and it came from religions like Taoism and Buddhism and Shintoism. And it started, we think, way back in the 17th century. And it's a form of poetry. And it always follows the same structure. So in this slide here, I'm showing you what the structure of the poem is. And you'll notice that all of these slides that I've done for you today are written in haiku. So I'll show you why that is. When we write a haiku, we write a 3-line poem. 1, 2, 3. This is a poem that doesn't have to rhyme, and they often don't. But every line has a certain number of syllables. The first line has 5 syllables. 5 syllables first. I made scoops under each syllable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 syllables first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The middle line, the next line in the middle, has 7 syllables. Then 7 in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 5 syllables to finish the last line. And finish with 5. So here's my haiku about how to form a haiku. 5 syllables first, then 7 in the middle, and finish with 5. So remember, in the read aloud story, the girl who moved to Japan was studying haiku, and this was an example of a haiku that has 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. An old silent pond. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A frog jumps into the pond. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So remember, we can clap it out. A frog jumps, and then into has 2 syllables, into the pond. And then the last line has 5 syllables. Splash. Silence again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My next slide, also written in haiku, 5, 7, 5. It's my turn to try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll write about our valley. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And all its beauty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. So now I'm going to show you how to write your own haiku and maybe even put a beautiful background behind it. So if you just want to write your haiku, I have put a text box into your haiku slide, and you can just simply write out your poem. So I was thinking when I wrote my haiku, many haikus are about the beauty of nature and the world around us. And I started thinking about times when I find the Salinas Valley really beautiful. And one of the times I really appreciate it is when I'm driving to work from Salinas to Gonzales in the morning, and what it looks like as I'm driving and I'm all by myself in my quiet car. And so I thought about this for quite a while. It took me some time to practice it, and you might need a grown-up to help you, and that's okay. But here's what I wrote. So sometimes when I'm driving to work, there's a lot of ground fog and mist around, and so I wrote fog above the fields. Fog above the fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put a period because that's the end of my thought. And then I thought, this is the beauty of a Salinas Valley morning. Salinas Valley morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Beauty, because we're talking about the beauty of nature all around. Beauty all around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, that's plenty for your haiku, but if you want to make your haiku extra fancy, I'm going to show you how to add a background to this. So what I did was, I'm going to give you 2 examples. The first one's probably the easiest. You can go to Google and you can do an image search for Salinas Valley or whatever you want to write about. Maybe you're writing about your family today and you can use some pictures of them. And once you find an image that you love very much, you can just drag it onto your desktop to use. I already have one pre-selected here that I found with a little bit of ground fog. Or over here what I did was I took a picture of the drawing that I made of the Santa Lucia Mountains, and I used my phone to send it to my email address or airdrop it, and then I put it on my desktop. So either way, if your family knows how to do that, will work fine. And if they don't, that's okay. You don't have to have a picture. So here's what I can do once I have that on my desktop. I can click this background and choose image. And then when I browse, I'm going to see all of the things I have loaded here. So if I'm going to use my Google image, I can double click my Google image and done. And it pops right up in the background, but oh no, I can't see my font. I'm going to need to change the color. I can highlight, and please come back to this video if you need help. I can highlight it and make it a color that stands out a little more, like maybe a bright green, or if that looks too harsh for me, I could try maybe white or a soft gray. That looks a little better, gray like the fog. Fog above the fields, Salinas Valley morning, beauty all around. Or if I decide I would rather use my own artwork that I worked very hard on, and you can of course draw your own picture of what you think is beautiful about the topic, the subject of your haiku, you can do that as well. Maybe I want to use my own artwork of the Santa Lucia Mountains. Oh, but this time that doesn't show up very well. So maybe I can choose a soft green, maybe even a little softer than that. Fog above the fields, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Salinas Valley morning, 7 syllables. Salinas Valley morning, 5 syllables at the end. Beauty all around. Okay, so remember, you don't have to add a background to this, but if you are feeling fancy and you want to, that is perfectly fine. Oh, that black looks very nice. So there's my example of how to write your haiku into a slide and add a background if you're feeling extra special today. So remember, when you write a haiku, you're going to use 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, that are 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables, and you can write about nature. You could write about your family. It's your turn to try. 5, 7, 5. So one more haiku that I wrote for you. Now write your haiku. Make your subject the background. And remember, that's optional, adding a background. And share it with me. So attached to this assignment, you will find a slide where you can make your own haiku and share it with me. I cannot wait to see the beautiful poetry you write with your family. Goodbye, friends.